if it's one person that can relate to that story, my job is done.
First off, I would say that interacting with you, both online and getting to meet you here, coming to your beautiful house, and seeing how you treat people who work with you, is easy to see that you're a beautiful person, both inside and out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, King David.
I'm just going to go right into it.
Yeah.
As a person who exudes this much light and joy and love, I sometimes wonder how you do it for yourself. Because you're giving so much to people, you're always showing up for people. You're like, your hairstylist was not feeling so good and you're like, are you good? Are you sure? No, get him this, get him that. I could literally see you doing that for people, and I'm sure that's just not just here. You're doing that also for people globally with all the projects you're working on. How do you center yourself?
So I think that I have two answers to that. First, I should introduce myself. My name is Dr. Simbiat Adighije, fondly called Dr. Sim. I consider myself to be an angel on earth, and it took me a very long time to come to terms with it. It took me many failures, many heartbreaks, many betrayals, many life experiences, many breakdowns, many prayers, many tears, many joys, it took me, and I'm not that old, I'm young, but I like to say that I finally, recently, I've accepted who I am. And so to answer your question as to how do I center myself? I think for me, number one is my family. My family. And when I say my family, I mean my immediate family, my husband. Oh my God, thank you, Jesus, for my husband. My children, the people I love, and the people that love me back.
Yeah.
Whether friends, whether family. And so centering myself is for me is about being around love. So when I'm home, I'm happy. When I'm with my kids, like, I'm happy. I'm not always happy, but for me, every time I reset and go back to what matters, that centers me. So to answer your question, my family. And then there's God, And greatness is very subjective. For me, greatness is the amount of lives you touch, is the amount of impact you make on earth. And so most great people have God at the center of most of the things they do. And for some people, God is not God in heaven. It could be whatever they believe in, the universe, whatever it is, spirituality. So God and my family.
How does it feel living as the strong friend in your circle? Being the one who carries everybody, who people call when they have issues? So
I think I give a lot of credit to my mom, really, for who I am, honestly. Like, I watched my mom went from being very rich to very poor, to very rich again, but in all of those times, she remained the same. Like, she was the one who everyone would call when they had problems, and even she would fix it. I never saw anything she couldn't fix or help people through. And I lost my dad when I was 2, so she was mostly my frame of reference growing up. And so, how does it feel? It's rewarding. It's a double-edged sword, actually. There's a side of it that's very rewarding. I would not change that for the world. I feel honored that people would even seek my advice. But there's also the side of it that could be exhausting. Not because you don't want to be there for people, but because while you're being there for everybody else, you have your own big mountains that you're struggling with and dealing with. And for me, it just comes naturally. I push that to the back. In that moment, if you need me, I'll be there. I'll do everything to be there. I just try to balance it. I focus on the reward side more than I do the exhaustion. Because, again, I lean to my support system, my husband. So I would cry to him and he would tell me things are okay. But for the most part, it's rewarding. I don't mind. It's heavy sometimes, can be very heavy. Keep in mind, I have 136 employees around the world. Keep in mind, I have 15,000 patients in my care. And a company that's Conscientia Health, by the way, is in all 50 states in the US with physical office locations, 73 of them. So there's a lot, I'm carrying a lot. But I believe in balance. I believe in authenticity. I believe in not losing who you are. Like the core, that little girl, Abimbola, is always going to be there. And so it helps me. Like every time things become overwhelming or I just go back to that, my little girl, Bimbo, I just find her and she guides me.
Thank you. As someone who creates the kind of stuff that I create on the internet, there is this responsibility on me of a sort to be the guy who helps other people. And sometimes I can get very caught in that I sometimes forget myself. And you mentioning this, that you go back to that little boy, that little girl, every single time, reminding yourself why, reminding yourself that what fueled this was what was in the heart of this little one. That was very profound for me. Thank you for sharing that. But also, you mentioned that you have a support system or community of people that hold you together, that ensure that they check you every time, be sure that you're good and you're fine. For a person out there who has a friend who is always the strong one, they know that this friend is the one they're always the one who gets up to get things done for other people. What would you advise them to do to support their friend? What's that one thing you'll tell them?
So I think people forget that that our strong friends are humans too. So when your strong friend is not okay, there's signs, they're little signs. Very subtle, because it's not, they're strong, right? They're very strong. So people don't think of them and think, oh, let me check on King David, and social media blurs a lot of our reality versus perception.
Perception, yeah.
So when people see you on social media, they think they've checked on you.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw you that day now, That's not checking on. I think I should emphasize the fact that if you have a truly strong friend who's there for you, and you consider them to be your strong friend, it's a privilege. It's a privilege that's easily taken for granted. It's a privilege that can be lost. Nobody owes anybody to be a strong friend because we all have our own battles.
Yes.
When you have that one strong friend, cherish them. The strong friends don't need much. What the strong friends need is basically a random text message. Hey, King David, you just crossed my mind. How are you doing? And what would be your answer typically?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, but the idea that someone is there looking out for you and checking in on you every time, father, that message comes in, it gives you this sense of assurance that there's somebody there.
It gets even better. Because, the automatic response is, I'm okay.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you flip it. And you flip it and check on the other person. Yeah.
Because your natural instinct is to always be there for them.
Yeah.
And then you're waiting for them to say, I'm reaching out because...
Yeah. Ooh.
So checking on your friend is not really, or your strong friend is not really, how are you? And then they say, okay. And then you in turn say, oh, Mom, my life has been... That's not checking on you. That's you checking in with your strong friend to help with the advice. And she doesn't mind, or he doesn't mind. But checking in on your strong friend is sending him a message to say, hey, King David, how are you? And you respond, I'm okay. And because I really want to check on you, you're my strong friend. You're very strong. Yeah. So you're never going to admit to me when things are not okay, ever. But the second question after that can help your strong friend. I'm okay. And so I would respond, are you really okay?
And it's hard to run away from that at that point. And also, considering the fact that the strong friend is used to just that one question, and the default, usually when people ask, how are you? It feels more like a pleasantry than a check. So unless the person is really waiting for someone to ask, and that's when how are you? And they just talk. But with the strong friend, that question comes and they just treat it like a pleasantry. When you dive in further, it's like, okay, you really want to hear.
Exactly.
And sometimes they may just go, oh, don't worry, I'm fine. Then sometimes you even go as far as asking, how is this? Maybe how's your family?
Exactly.
How are your kids? How's your work?
Exactly.
Then you probe and then they start to speak.
Exactly.
That's really profound. As the strong friend now, can I ask you, who is your strong friend?
So I shared recently, on my Instagram, 2025 was a very rough year for me, for my family. sister-in-law is sitting right there. Shout out to Auntie, who would call me and cry with me. And I don't take that for granted, Auntie. I needed that so bad. I have a lot of friends and family and people who love me and care for me, but I didn't think I wanted to bother anyone to cry with me. And it wasn't something that I asked Auntie to do. Like, it was just calling to say, Bimbo, I know you're not okay. Talk to me. I'm not okay if you're not okay. And she's crying and I'm crying. I don't cry. And so to go back to your question, who is my strong friend?
Yeah.
My strong friend is my husband. I've been married to him for 20 years. You know, I was a child, basically. Not really. I was, 21 when I met him. And I had my son David when I was 22 or 23. I maneuvered, thank God, to raise beautiful, amazing kids, So my strong friend for 20 years has been my husband. And then 2025 tested. Oh yeah. And so that was the one time probably in my adult life, really, that when I felt like I didn't have a strong friend because the devil, and marriage, where people call us like the couple goals, and we are really, we're best friends. But we're human. There was nothing wrong. There was no cheating. Nothing was wrong. But yet everything felt wrong. And so in that moment, I lost my strong friend for about 3 months. What helped me through that time was journaling. So I picked up my pen. I used to journal when I was a child, like when I was little. I used to just write. And so life gets busy. It's easy to just, My strong friend is my husband, still is, thank God. But for the most part, my strong friend is myself. Is my thoughts, is the way I see situations when they arise. I can take it for evil, or I can take it for a lesson. My friends and family, God, my gospel music, really, really does help me. I'm mostly just grateful that I don't get to wallow. I don't have enough time to wallow. And so I'm grateful that I pour that energy into my patients, into my family, And so back to your question, my strong friend is my husband. And when he fails, Auntie cries with me.
Thank you. You mentioned 2025. What about 2025?
So when I think of 2025, you know how like everywhere on social media, everybody was saying 2025, we're tired of you, or this or that. It was, everybody went through a lot of things, 2025. But if I literally picked up my phone and looked at every single month in 2025, apart from when I lost my mom and my brother, I think that 2025 tested me in ways that I had never been tested before. I almost lost my life like 3 or 4 times. I'll show you something. So I come to Nigeria in April of last year. This is just how life throws things at us. My friend was getting married again. She's been married and wanted to do a renewal. And so I did henna.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's gorgeous. Yeah. I did it in Abuja. About 6 hours later, I couldn't breathe. I'm in Nigeria. So I still rough it. I go to the wedding. I want to be there for my friend. I'm feeling some type of way, but I'm thinking I'm allergic to dye. But henna is supposed to be natural yeah. right? I'll be happy to show you a photo of what it looks like. I have to be flown out. I'm sitting at my very, very good friends who I've known for more than 20 years in this party in Lagos. I came just for that. All of a sudden, it's swelling. But I'm thinking, no big deal. I always bring all of my stuff with me. So like my freaking hydroxyzine, antihistamine, everything, I'm taking them at the party. Next thing you know, it's swelling more. Next thing you know, it's bleeding. So I roll up my seat because strong friend. And I'm here for my friend. So I'm not going to just leave. I came for that. That's Kunle is my guy. Everything was going on. Party was going well. Everything was going well. Something wasn't right, but I was just champing it through. And I remember vividly, literally what saved me that day was NEPA.
How?
Right?
How?
Right? The party was so good. So everything, I forgot to pay attention to my body. I mean, I knew something was there. So I said, let me take a break and go to my car, AC. I had my staff from America who would follow me here then. We went to the car, I took some AC, I'm okay, I'm out, and I go back in. Party is really nice, right? I've been back. It's my friend, I can't just leave. So all of a sudden, I'm dancing, I'm not paying attention to my body, and NEPA takes the light. And typically with that, the generator will come right back on. So it's 5 minutes later, I'm starting to feel hot. 10 minutes later, the light's still not on. I'm starting to feel like I can't breathe. It's allergic reaction.
Wow.
Except now it's becoming anaphylactic. Now I can't breathe. Now it's going to my sister.
Yeah.
I had it both legs and the one hand. And what saved my life was when the girl was going to do the henna, she said both hands. And I'm like, no, just do one hand, because when I talk to my patients, I don't want it to be about me. I don't want, so I can talk with one hand.
One hand, yeah.
They don't want to say, oh, what's that? You know, I don't want to take away from that. I was thinking about other people. And so that's the one reason why I didn't have all 4 done, because the allergenes would have been even more.
Yeah.
So now I can't breathe. Now they carry me, they put me in the car, it's bad. And the only reason I was able to pay attention enough was because the light was gone for about 15 minutes, and it forced me to pay attention to my body. Long story short, the next day I was in the US, I had to go, and I was given maybe 12 medication, epinephrine shots. It was bad. For 2 weeks I had a wound. I was bleeding. My point is, this was just, I want to go and do my friend's party.
Wedding.
And life throws things at you that you least expect. And these kind of things happen to people and they die. So I still have the scar to show for it. I didn't die, thank God. But this is never gonna go away.
Wow.
It was bad.
You know, if you didn't tell me this story, I would have thought that maybe this was from like last week or so.
April 2025.
This is almost a year ago.
So now I'm scarred, but at least it reminds me that God saved my life.
It's a remembrance of God's goodness, not just a scar. Yeah. There are a couple of things that I wrote down just listening to your talk. And you're somebody who's doing work with mental health, who's doing work with philanthropy, who's being the strong friend for your community, your people. And I wrote something down. I'm like, how do you balance your calling to be a healer? Because you mentioned it earlier also that you feel like you're called to help people, to call to heal people, while also needing healing.
I think that as human beings, we're always going to need healing. All of us have things that we have to heal from, mostly stemming from childhood, actually. And so I accept the fact that, you know, healing is not a one-day thing.
Yeah. I
do the best I can to use the resources that I have to help me heal. And it doesn't have to be anything grand. My art, for example.
Yeah.
You know, like I wake up in the morning and I look, the first thing I see is Jesus and his disciples, but in colors, you know, reminds me of God's goodness. So I find little things that help ground me. And I try not to wallow, because it's very easy to wallow. Yeah, life throws a lot of things at you every day, all the time. I lost my mom when I was 30. I was a child. She was my best friend. She didn't deserve it, and I didn't deserve it. But life doesn't necessarily give you what you deserve or don't deserve. It's just life, you know. I think how we use the experiences that happen to us to change things, whether it's things about us or other people, that's the takeaway from bad experiences that happen to us. I find the joys in the little things. I look at my jumbo painting, I stare at her for a while, and I notice the things that I never saw before. It forces me to be present. It forces me to be here now. It forces my mind to just take a break, and I just recenter myself in that moment and keep it moving.
There's something I'd like to show you, if you don't mind.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Oh.
I feel very heavy doing this, but I saw this here, and it's young you with your beautiful mother. What do you see when you see this?
I mean, I see my mom, obviously.
Sure.
I see innocence. I see that both of our eyes are exactly the same. My mom was very, very kind. Too kind, to her own detriment sometimes. And I see the same thing in me. That's actually scary. I see pain. My pain. Hers too. Because I know if there was one thing my mom wanted, she didn't want to die young. She would pray that prayer loudly all the time. You know, she passed away at 62. She was never sick. It was sudden. But I also see someone who's probably very, very proud of me right now. And she wishes she could just tell me. My mom always bragged about me, even before any of this thing. I remember when I was in medical school, she told everybody, you know, how like Bimbola, you know, she called me Bimbola, is in medical school, and I told you guys she was going to be a doctor. Keep in mind, I wanted to be an actress when I was young.
Yeah.
And she said, lie.
Yeah, you mentioned that in your talk also, yes.
So my mom actually, everything I am, I owe it to her. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gone to medical school. So I see the past, I see the present, I see the future. And I'm surprised that this is the first time I'm actually having to confront. In 13 years, my mom died a long time ago, but this is the first time I'm looking at a photo that I have everywhere in my house, but I don't look. First time I'm actually seeing lights in it. Wow. And so I think that's the power of healing. It takes time, but yeah. But thank you for pulling this off.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I'll leave her here now. Oh, I need a break now. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Just
it's okay.
2 minutes.
Okay. All right. How are you feeling?
I mean, my mom's favorite color was pink.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. So I didn't even know I had this hair. It just so happened, I honestly didn't know I had this hair. So wearing pink right now helps me cope. But I'm feeling good. How about you?
It's beautiful to be able to witness this. And yes, it's taking its toll on me in its own way. But yeah, like I said, it's beautiful to witness this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with your mom?
If I'm being honest, it could be better. My mom is the kind of person who shows up for everybody just like you. She's a very take charge type of woman, you know. She does this, does that. She rarely asks for anything. The only way to find out that she needs something is that she most likely will just mention it in passing. And if you don't, right on the spot, do that to show her that you want to be there for her. If you take too much time, she'll sort that herself. And yeah, she's a very, very strong person. And one of the reasons why me and my siblings take our time to ensure that we show up for her actively is because she has spent so much time showing up for everybody. And she's so used to that. And like you said, the strong friends, sometimes they're the ones who will just say, I'm fine, and just move on. But you need extra effort for you to remind them that they can count on you and they have a community of people who are willing to be there for them.
Especially her kids.
Yeah, especially her kids. It's crazy how my mom had 2 sisters. She has siblings, but from her mother, 2 sisters. 3 sisters actually, and they've all passed away, and she's the only one who's left. So sometimes, I don't know, I always try to just imagine what it was like to deal with that kind of loss.
Not 2, but 3 siblings.
Yeah, she lost her mom when she was little, and all her sisters all passed away. If I may ask you, how do you manage grief and loss?
So I think it comes in stages. I mean, science has proven it comes in stages. So there's a denial stage, there's the anger stage, there's a bargaining stage, there's a guilt stage, and then finally you accept it.
Acceptance, yeah.
And even those stages don't come in that sequence for everybody.
Yeah, sometimes they're intertwined.
And what I always tell people is that there's no right or wrong way to grieve. You grieve the way you want to grieve. Grief for some people looks like you just lost your mom and you're outside the next day, just sitting down with your friends hanging out, and they're wondering, are you okay? They're grieving, but they're in the first stage, it's denial. So the first few, for most people, some people cry, everything, but there will be moments of denial, like there's no way this has happened. If I can go back to my life and act like it's not happening, maybe when I come back, this never really happened. I think with the loss of my mom, I don't know that I grieved. My husband thinks otherwise. He thinks that I grieved a lot. He thinks that I cried a lot. But I think I masked, a lot of my grief with high functioning. I buried myself in work. And one of the beauties that came from that grief was Conscientia health, actually. Because when I lost my mom, I couldn't find a relatable, even group therapy where a room full of people that have lost their moms. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know. So I'll tell my husband, find me any of your friends who's lost their mom. I need to talk to them. Like, what do you do? And so I did find a small community of people, but I never really got to it. I said, you know what? I want to do this for people who's lost their... I just want to help humanity. And so my first 500 patients were free.
Wow.
In New York, Wall Street, people that could afford it. But it wasn't about that for me. It was passion. It was, I wanted to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to be to others what you wish someone was to you.
That's exactly what it was.
That's beautiful. One more thing before we tie things up. Of course, you spoke about how it's one of the first times you're ever like talking actively about a lot of these things. And it's very interesting how this, the TED Talk was something that you almost did not do.
Oh, yes. I'm glad that I did. I think it pushed me 18 minutes of talking from your memory. I hope it helps people understand how normal it is to go through the things that we go through, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. It doesn't matter how glamorous social media can make the person look. Every human being has a mental struggle at given points in their lives. In fact, I believe that science has shown, but but I personally believe that every single human being at some point in your lifetime will experience a mental illness. Oh yeah, it could be brief. It could be prolonged, it could be acute, it could be chronic. How we manage it determines how severe it will become. So it's natural that if you lost a job, you're going to be sad. And you lost that job and you can't feed your family. Now the school fees is coming, guess what? It's growing into depression, rightfully so. Some of it is genetics, some of it is life, you know, based on what's happening in your life at the time, will determine how I'm okay and I'm not okay things can be. And so if everyone can just remember that at some point in your life, you will experience mental illness. The question is, how severe would you let it be? Do you want to catch it early? So early detection. And it doesn't have to be, you know, medication or talk. Not everybody can afford a therapist, but find a support system around you. So sometimes just talking about it, journal. Sometimes just getting it out can help. And so none of us can escape it. All of us are going to go through grief at some point. We're all going to lose our parents at some point. You know, we hope that we lose them when they're old and gray, but we're all going to go through these things. And so accepting the fact that, you know, this thing that we all call mental illness is not such mental, it's an everyday thing for most of us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for doing this. But before you go, I want you to do something really interesting for me, if you would like, if you want.
Absolutely.
I want you to look to the camera and say one thing you wish you could have said to your mom. What would that be?
I need tissue now. I'm okay.
So sorry.
It's okay. Don't be sorry. Is there one thing I could say to my mom now, or that I wish I could have said to her?
Then, now.
Is there one thing I could say to her now?
Yeah.
I'll tell her that I'm okay. I'm okay, and that your little Abimbola is doing very well. Your grandkids are grown, they're doing very well. I'm actually a baddie. I fulfilled all the dreams that you had for me and more. And everything I am, everything I know, everything, the strength, you know, all of these things I learned from you. So thank you, Mommy. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah. This was the most vulnerable thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm grateful that I get to share this moment with you.
And it's helping me heal, yeah. Because I didn't think, you know, I never think about it. I never get to talk. I never get to do the things. Life is busy. But thank you, Mommy. Thank you. Thank you for teaching me how to be kind. That really has done a lot of things for a lot of people. Thank you for teaching me never to give up. Thank you for always saying, you can't do it. If anybody can do it, it's you. You know, thank you for telling me not to invest because the bank will steal your money. But it actually turns out it wasn't true. I should invest. But that fear also helped me save a lot. Thank you for taking care of David and Daniel while I went to medical school. Thank you for not leaving me. I mean, you're always here. I know, I feel it. Yeah, thank you for protecting me. Thank you for having me. I was a mistake, by the way. I'm the last of 23 kids. I'm the sixth from my mom, and I was a oops kind of baby. So thank you for having me as well, because you didn't have to. And that's it. Cut. I'm done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah, this is very, very emotional.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for, there's so many ways we could have taken this. I wanted to be intentional about how I would share this part of me. And a lot of people go through grief. A lot of, people have lost parents and have lost loved ones, and we never get to really talk about it. Everybody tells you, don't cry. Don't worry, cry. Worry. But don't stay there. That's the thing, It doesn't go away. 13 years later, look at me, a whole mess now. But just know, a beautiful mess. A beautiful mess. And if you have your mom, if your mom is still alive, it doesn't matter how bad she may have treated you, because remember, mental illness. And so we attribute a lot of things to spirituality, witchcraft, nobody intentionally wants to have a child and treat them bad. But the wires and the chemicals in their brains sometimes can fail them. And this is why mental illness is not, it's literally a chemical imbalance in your brain that some people can't help. Which mother whips their child and puts pepper on it? One that doesn't know that's not okay because that's the way she was raised. One that that has poor judgment. These are all like things we learn in medical school and like in psychiatry. And so if you still have your mom, find it within yourself, no matter what she's done to you, no matter what she does to you, you choose to make it work. Not for her, really, for you, because she's not going to be here forever. And so make it intentional to create memories when you can. Tell her you love her even when she's up. You can limit the amount of, because some people tell me about toxicity, or my mom is toxic, boundaries, and we throw all these words out. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how close you were to them or not. When she's gone forever. So make of that what you like. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing this with me. And there's been so much that happened today, but this had to be done. And I'm grateful that we got to share this. And for anyone who's watching this, grief is something that you're allowed to feel and allowed to go through. And speaking is one of the ways we heal. So do not be afraid to speak about the things you're dealing with. Do not be afraid to allow yourself give language to what you're dealing with. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm very honored, to have done this with you. Very intentional, very natural. And do you want to say peace now?
Yeah.
Peace. Thank you, King David. Round of applause for King David. What a beautiful interview.